It's Mike with Vant Trading with your trade of the day video. Tough day in the marketplace for a lot of traders. Provided some opportunity. Can't say that we did not expect the type of action that we got. Let's kind of pop in here and look at what we have. If you look here, 1 second here, guys. If you look in here, you can see the SPY. We talked about the VIX chart, and we'll get to that in a minute, but you can see this trend line from the all-time highs here. Had some nice rejections in here. The most famous one was back in August when we rejected off the 200, same place where we had this trend line. And then just last week, we rejected off this trend line up here. And now this little trend line that we had with the higher lows has been broken as the SPY came all the way down into the 100 for support. So definitely looks like, and we can see the RSI, definitely the upward trend in the RSI kind of breaking as well. If you look at tech, same thing, rejection off the 100, never even got close to the 200 either time back in August or here. Has been lagging, found support where it should have found support around this 280.21. So technically not broken, and you do have the 50 overhead, so we'll be watching that. But IWM, which had been leading us up here, small caps, did break through the 200 here, came back through, tested it, and came back up, almost an M pattern forming here. On the IWM daily chart, you can see did break back through yesterday on a big bar through the 200, fell back through the 9, the 21, and today fell back through the 100 with the 50 waiting below. So technically, a lot of damage done with today's selling, breaking these trend lines, seeing the RSI now tipping over. And we can't say that we didn't see this coming. I mean, again, we talked about this VIX chart to the upside. We kind of called the rally here when VIX was kind of, making its move up over 34. We got the rally as VIX fell off. And then the same thing over the last couple of days, we've been talking about this area here on the VIX with, this breakdown below 20 in this area. Each time it's come down this year pretty much into this area, we've gotten a fierce push up in the VIX, which of course correlates back to the market in a fierce pullback. So these bear market rallies that we've seen pretty much being fueled up here. You can see now it looks like we could be starting a bear market a run to the downside, maybe retesting lows or even making new lows. We still have a lot of work to be done. VIX kind of getting rejected up in here. So we will see what happens. As far as our trade of the day on the stock side, it definitely was a good trade. It was an easy trade. And, the trade I want to go over is First Solar. We've traded solar for a while now, over the last 3 or 4 months, as it's been one of the outperforming sectors of the marketplace. First Solar, you can see here on the little island as it gapped up 2 quarters ago on just outstanding earnings. And, it's been in a run ever since at 52-week highs. First Solar came out today. I forget which analyst came out, had a downgrade, $46 price target on First Solar. Just, I thought it was kind of a ridiculous target. So, when you get a stock that's in an active sequence like First Solar, and you have some really obvious levels, I think this set up for a really decent trade. You can see, a stock that's in active sequence, holding the 9 and the 21, and you can kind of see over here what it did today. But it gave us a good trade in the morning because, you had this level right here on the daily chart that we were looking at, this 160.91. And then you also had the 21. So a lot of times when the stock is in an active sequence, you'll see the 21, you'll see the 50 come into support occasionally, and then see it rally off of those value zones. So today we were looking for a dip buy in First Solar, had some easy levels, had a level where we could really trade off against, and we got it, and it was a really easy trade for us. So let's kind of pop in here and look at the First Solar trade. So you can see, let me go to the 2-minute chart. Let me pull up our 2-minute chart in here. So you can see the trade we were looking at. They kind of gave it a run up in the morning. You saw the dip buyers come in, and then they shot it down shot it down pretty hard, and they went right through this area here. And then that was our opportunity on this second bar up, is when we bought in to First Solar. So, we bought the dip right up in here. I believe we got in at 160 something, 160 like 75, I think it was. But it was a decent entry right up off of here. And what I like about this trade is, if you kind of zoom in here, you can see you really have some good areas to trade against, right? And you had some good areas to kind of trade against, and basically, once we got in and we let the market do what it wanted to do, right in here, the wick here was pretty much our stop loss that we were looking at. So about a 60-cent stop loss from where we got in, I believe. And then we just let it do its thing, and we actually took it up to here, took some profits. We got 2 points on this trade right up in here, took off a quarter of our position. When it came back in the VWAP was making the higher lows, we actually added that position back and then took off some more up into here for 3 points. So we got a good portion off at 3 points in here. And then as it was just kind of doing its thing, we held throughout here, bought back off VWAP a couple times, and then we just noticed that, we couldn't break this 164 level. And, going back, looking at the hourly and 15-minute charts, you can kind of see why, that level in there, that 164 right here, was a major level of resistance, which had been a major level of support. If you go back to the 15-minute chart, you can even see it in there as well. As far as this area, you can see this area here of support, which now, of course, being below it becomes resistance. Very classic technical trading right there. So we wound up getting out up into this little wedge, and getting 3 points on the trade was a nice little trade. But it then gave you a nice opportunity as the market started to perform, and it looked like it definitely confirmed from the tick that we were going to be in a drive down day on the markets. That's when we talked about 162 should have been your stop loss. Once we got right up in here on this flat VWAP, they broke it, tried to test the backside of this trend line here, failed it, and then, of course, provided a nice little opportunity to the downside. And what's beautiful about this, look how the 21, this, by the way, is the 21 EMA on the, excuse me, daily chart. And you can see the 21 sitting here, provided a nice area of support, went up into the 22, failed, and off it went down there as well. So nice little trade to the downside. And you can see how they really respected some levels down here. And then the 15-minute opening range also provided a level to kind of trade against. So it gave you an upside, it gave you a backside. It's perfect type of stock, A+ setups in here. The other thing I wanted to kind of show you on the hourly chart, we always talk about the 200, and you can see here how the 200 kind of really became a lid along with that 164. So, that kind of confirmed this downside motion. It also gave you an opportunity to get out, and it became a lid for that dip buy that we had, that we scored 3 points on. So you could have got 3 points to the upside, could have got yourself about 6 points to the downside. Good day if you're trading First Solar. Nice trade. Look at the upper time frames, how to use moving averages, how to use value plays. And again, the upper time frames always win. And it's interesting, we had people looking at this saying, oh, Mike, this is a short, right? And ultimately it did wind up being a short, but just understanding how these levels play gives you a really good couple good opportunities that other traders may not get. I hope this was informative for you. If it was, drop a line down in the comment section. Also, we like doing these because I think it gives you a good idea of how the markets are trading and how to trade them. So if you like it, hit the like button, and we'll see you tomorrow.